Now, let's get back to it. And finally, during the 8th century BCE in ancient Greece, there was a set of customary rules known as the common laws of the Hellenes when it came to warfare. And these laws were the following. If you are to partake in war, an official declaration is required. If a war is ongoing, you still must respect sacred truces. And one example of this would be the Olympic Games. Thirdly, if you were in possession of dead enemies, you had to return them if requested. And finally, you may not mutilate enemy corpses, as it was considered barbaric. Now, a couple of notes about these Greek rules specifically. For starters, these were not necessarily written, followed rules. These were actually unwritten customs that were, well, customary and agreed upon across different Greek city-states. And it's important to note that these rules specifically applied to inter-Greek conflicts, with the sole goal of limiting brutality when it comes to Greek-on-Greek violence and warfare. With that being said, that means that these rules did not apply to non-Greek barbarians. Meaning that if you were a Greek soldier fighting a non-Greek soldier, all of these rules were out of the window. And even if you were a Greek soldier fighting a different Greek soldier, because enforcement was so weak on these rules, and this was more or less of a gentleman's agreement, having these rules be followed was, well, on a case-by-case basis, to say the least. But now that we are armed with ancient historical context when it comes to rules of war and war crimes, I want to jump directly to the establishment of the modern war crime to describe exactly how war crimes came to be in the first place and how the term war crime evolved from its establishment in the roughly 1800s to the modern day.